tell them. Haribol?
Personally, what?
Yeah. There are quite a few points, Prabhuji. I personally noted 3 points that highlighted it. So I'll just mention them. If you're talking about prayojana, so it is the process of establishing the relationship, right? So Prabhupada mentions ki Chaitanya
Yes.
Mahaprabhu advises.
By the way, Prayojan is the ultimate goal. Abhideya is
Okay.
the process of establishing relationship.
Okay, bro.
Yes,
Okay.
please go ahead.
Yeah. So Prabhupada mentions ki Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Kirtaniya Sadahari. This is one point wherein if we always chant the names of Krishna, uh, because the name of the Lord and the Lord Himself are non-different, we will always remember Him and we'll surely achieve Him. The second point is Prabhupada gives the secret of Bhagavad Gita, total absorption in the thoughts of Krishna. So when we are working, Prabhupada says, we are not only working with the body, but we are also using our mind and intelligence. So if we engage our mind and intelligence in the service of the Lord,
Okay.
then our senses will also automatically be engaged. So this is one way to engage in the devotional service of the
Good.
Lord. And probably
Anybody else?
third point. Okay. Okay.
Other devotees who are online, please put on your videos. Yes, Siddhantu, go ahead.
So, project. So, main thing what I was able to understand that we have to transfer our what do we say, the state of mind from the material or the
Not
material.
audible, Siddhantu.
I'm not audible. Just a sec.
Me now, project. Can you hear me now?
Okay, fine. Anybody from offline? Yes, Vishnu.
It is written in the purport about absorption. Uh, so we should engage our senses in the service of the Lord. And whatever things we were doing before as well, the same things we are doing, but the consciousness has been upgraded. And similarly, if we upgrade our consciousness, we would be able to remember the Lord uh, every moment. Like Prathamesh Prabhu told, Kirtaniya Sadhari of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's this thing. So through that. And Shravanam is also the process through which we would be able to remember the Lord every single time. That is the easiest process.
Good. Yes, so this is one group.
What gives us the flow from where why one should take to the Abhidheya process. The main context he uses is Antakalisya Mameva Smaran Mukta Kalivara. So he starts from there that one should remember the Lord at the Antakala. And how he can remember, then he gives us the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Padasevanam. Then he connects us through this.
Good. Rishi Vishwamitra Prabhu. तर लास्ट इंट्रोडक्शन लास्टच्या पार्ट मध्ये प्रभुपाद सांगतात की म्हणजे अभिधेय म्हणजे भक्ती योग आहे की आपण जर भक्ती योग जर पालन केलं तरच आपण प्रयोजनला प्राप्त करू शकतो जे की स्पिरिच्युअल काय आहे आणि त्याला प्राप्त करण्यासाठी प्रभुपाद सांगतात इथं की इफ वन adopts the principles initiated in Bhagavad Gita, he can make his life perfect and make permanent solution टू ऑल द प्रॉब्लेम्स ऑफ लाईफ. म्हणजे जर आपण भक्ती योगा पालन केलं जे की अभिधेय प्रोसेस आहे जे 9 प्रोसेस ऑफ भगवद्गीता तर आपण प्रयोजनला प्राप्त करू शकतो. आणि भगवद्गीतामध्ये हेच सांग. एनिथिंग एल्स?
Prabhuji, in the introduction there is one this example given by Prabhupada where the Abhideya part is explained that of a married woman where and a married man, if they have anything affair or out of their marriage, then the woman usually tends to all the household chores very carefully so that it is not coming to the attention of the husband, and still she is in very strong love with the lover. The same way we should also be very strongly attached to Krishna, but at the same time we should follow all our duties very carefully, and we should
Good. So
this is something which is very important to understand. The part of introduction, Prabhupada is talking about Sambandha, Abhidheya and Prayojan. So many times people study Bhagavad Gita and they try to learn only Sambandha. They try what is given in the Bhagavad Gita. They get into scrutiny, they get into lot of details of it, and they try to learn about something about Jiva, something about Ishvara, mainly about Prakriti and then Karma, Kala, all these things. But then after studying all these things, they hardly get into Abhidheya, the process of following this particular knowledge, or what to do with this particular knowledge of Sambandha. Forget to establish relationship. Many times, many people talk also about moksha, liberation, nirvana. People also talk about going to Vaikuntha and all. So they talk about prayojan also, or they study about prayojan. But the middle part, which is very important, as Vishwamitra rightly highlighted, that Bhakti Yoga is highlighted here. So the process of Abhideya is Bhakti Yoga. Other yoga processes are also there, but they are very tedious. They are very difficult to attain, or they are very difficult to follow. But Bhakti Yoga is the easy process and it's a complete process. And that's why Prabhupada is mentioning about the 9 Navavidha Bhakti, Shravanam, Kanam, Vishnu, Saranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakhyam, Datsyam, Atmanivedanam. And Rishikesh, as he said rightly, the Shravanam process is highlighted. The have to give importance to the process of Shravan, hearing. If we are giving importance to the process of Shravanam, then other processes will follow. So that's very important to give importance to the process of Shravanam. So Abhideya is most important thing. If we follow that, only we can attain Prayojan. And studying of Bhagavad Gita is not just the theoretical knowledge, acceptance of the theoretical knowledge. It's a process of following and then transformation. It's just not information. It's all about transformation. Okay, so we are going to begin from the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What is the name of first of Bhagavad Gita? At the end of Bhagavad Gita, study of Bhagavad Gita, you should be able to at least quote all the 18 chapters' name. Observing the army on the battlefield of Kshetra. What is the Sanskrit name of this particular chapter? Vishad?
Arjun Vishad Yoga.
There are two names for this particular chapter. One is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. And second is Sainya Nirikshana Yoga. That's why Prabhupada has translated this as Sainya Nirikshana Yoga, as observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So this chapter is divided into two parts. That's why both the names are appropriate. I hope everybody has the booklet. Have you received the booklet? Bhakti Shastri booklet. So please open the Bhakti Shastri booklet. It is not the responsibility of Krishna Prabhu to give. It is our responsibility to take it. So those devotees who don't have. So next time while coming, please add one more book in your bag. That is your booklet. So give me that booklet. है सर. सॉफ्ट कॉपी भी आपके ग्रुप पे आया हुआ है. देख रहे कभी कभी. That's what now we are not taking seriously this Bhakti Shastri. We are wasting my time or teacher's time, and we are at the same time wasting your own time. Simple, you did not study. I told you, I gave some homework. We had to waste 1 hour just because you people did not study. I'm talking about Bhakti Shastri not being taken seriously. How many of you have Bhagavad Gita here? Your own copy of Bhagavad Gita here? Why Ojasvi you don't have Bhagavad Gita? How many times it is told? Premcharu, why you don't have Bhagavad Gita? I have told you should have hard copy of Bhagavad Gita. You should have pen and paper. So this chapter is divided into two parts. The first 17 verses, verse number 1 to 17. Obviously, this is again divided into multiple parts. Why I'm talking about two parts is because of these two different. 1 to 17 is all about the how the army is arranged. If you see Mahabharat, through the Mahabharat there are two different parts and how the army is arranged. That's why Prabhupada has named this as a Sainya Nirikshaka Yoga. Sainya Nirikshaka. Initially, all these names to the chapters were given by Shankaracharya. Or Shankaracharya was the one who first gave a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. And that's why Shankaracharya, he gave the first commentary. Why? Say, Baldev, I'm I'm not talking about Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. I'm talking about the overall first Tippani, first Tikakar was the Shankaracharya, and he named these topics, 18 chapters. So that's why that time he named Arjuna Vishada Yoga. First, and then our Acharyas, mainly Baldev Vidyabhushan, names this as a Sainya Nirikshaka Yoga because the initial 17 verses talk about observing army. And then 18 to around 46 verse talks about Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Arjuna is lamenting. Arjuna is, really perplexed. Arjuna is not understanding. So he is lamenting. So that lamentation is explained. So that's why both the names are correct. Arjuna Vishada Yoga and Sainya Nirikshaka Yoga. So if you open the booklet, so please, in the booklet, these two pages will always help you to understand Bhagavad Gita very nicely. Okay? Page number 50, online devotees who have, they can see page number 50 and 51. So this particular thing is explaining about how that particular chapter is divided into different parts. So first 6 topics are explained on page number 50 and 51, where it is chapter number 1, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. It is first verse, Dharmakre. It is all talking about Dharmakshetra. Then verse number 3 to 11 is Duryodhana's diplomacy. As we have already discussed that how, Bhagavad Gita is talking about Rajaniti, or Bhagavad Gita is talking about politics or management. So many people try to derive some knowledge from this particular part. So Duryodhana's diplomacy is explained from verse number 3 to 11. Then verse number 14 to 20 talks about the sign of victory for the Pandavas. Panchajanyo, Rishikesha, Devadatta, Dhananjaya. All these verses which comes, it talks about the victory sign of Pandavas. Then Krishna as a Bhakta Vatsala is spoken in verse 21 to 27. Ratham Stapate Madhye. Please take my chariot in between. And there Prabhupada talks a lot about how Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. He is dear to his devotee. And then 28 to 29, Arjuna's reason for not fighting. Arjuna gives reason. 4 reasons are spoken particularly. Sorry? 28 to 46. Arjuna is talking about the not fighting. Reasons he is giving for not fighting. Verse number 28 to 46. So 4 reasons are spoken here. And the 5th reason is spoken in the first few verses of 10th chapter. Okay. Okay. So, can somebody tell me who was the first person? Like we hear that Bhagavatam was first spoken by Sukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. So, similarly, this particular part of Mahabharat, Bhagavad Gita, or overall Mahabharat, who spoke first time Mahabharat to whom? Mahabharat
Sanjaya.
was first spoken by whom to whom? That was expected. That is not right answer. Ganeshji, Vyasadeva spoke to Ganeshji, na? Yeah, that was when he wrote. Hmm?
Janmejay.
Andala He's talking about this thing, but Ghatotkacha's son, barbaric. No, not barbaric. Yes, any scholar from online devotees, anybody knows who spoke Mahabharat to whom first time? Hmm. Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata, na? So this we will discuss about Mahabharata because in this chapter we are going to discuss some many things from Mahabharata, or we have already discussed many things from Mahabharata in this particular study. That is way long. That long ago. That maybe not in this particular Yuga cycle. Before that. Okay, don't worry. So it is the disciple of Vyasadeva, Dvaipayana. Dvaipayana is the disciple of Vyasadeva. He spoke Bhagavad Gita to son of Parikshit. He spoke Mahabharata to son of Parikshit Maharaj, Janmajay. So please remember this. Parikshit Maharaj, that is Janmajay. Dvaipayana spoke Janmajay. Okay, so this was the first time spoken. Now you may say that Prabhuji, no, but then we also study that Mahabharata was particularly Bhagavad Gita by uh, Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra, right? That's what we hear. Sanjaya Uvacha, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, and how it begins that Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya that what happened. But then if you study Mahabharata, there is something interesting controversy which comes. So there is like about Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami, we hear that Sutta Goswami heard this, and then Sutta Goswami narrated Bhagavatam. Which rishis? Shaunakadi Rishi. Sutta Goswami spoke to Shaunakadi Rishi. And then there is all, then he spoke further to whom, and then all those things, Vidura speaking, or varieties of things comes in Bhagavad. Similarly, Mahabharata was first spoken by whom to whom? Janmajay. This was heard again by Sutta Goswami. And then Sutta Goswami spoke particular knowledge further. From same, this Dvaipayana and Janmajay discussion, Sutta Goswami heard this. And then Sutta Goswami gave this knowledge further to some few rishis. No, this is not a part of. And then that's how this particular knowledge also moved ahead. That also carried forward. Or you can say that's how it came as a parampara. Okay, so we're not getting into that discussion now. This is just for information. Okay, now we are talking about very important part, that is the particular knowledge Krishna spoke to Arjuna. That's very clear to us. Bhagavad Gita spoken by Krishna to Arjuna. This was also spoken by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. Now, in Mahabharata, there is a discussion which comes that Sanjaya, he comes on the 10th day of war. Sanjaya comes to Hastinapur. And then he says there, he meets Dhritarashtra. And then as soon as he meets Dhritarashtra, he says that Bhishma is on the bed of arrows. And there, so this particular thing comes in the chapter around 18th chapter of Mahabharata in Bhishma Parva. And then 25th chapter, this particular verse comes. Dhritarashtra Uvacha. So the 18th chapter is the announcement that Bhishma is on the bed. And 25th chapter is this particular verse. So आप बोलेंगे अरे ऐसे कैसे हो गया? Because whatever we have heard till now is what Sanjay is speaking. Sanjay is giving a live telecast, right? But then now in Mahabharata the discussion comes that Sanjaya came from the warfield and then he is sitting in front of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra asking, Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta, Yutsava, Mamaka, Pandava, Shaiva, Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. If you study this verse according to the Sanskrit translation also. So this particular word which speaks about Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. This is a kya kar rahe the. This is not kya kar rahe hai. If you study according to Sanskrit, this is lang lat lakar. That is the past tense of the present past tense. What we study in this thing. So it is present past tense. So it's actually a part of a past tense. So according to the Sanskrit translation also, this particular verse speaks about धृतराष्ट्र ने 10 दिन पहले क्या हुआ था वो पूछा है. What happened 10 days before? Sanjay. So don't get confused. Then how come this particular thing came that we have studied so many times? So many devotees say that Sanjay is giving a live telecast. So our acharyas, they speak that Sanjaya was in front of Dhritarashtra and then Sanjaya gave this knowledge. So these are two different understandings. Like if you study Mahabharata and Bhagavatam parallelly, you will always get confused. Like in Mahabharata, Bhishma's departure, the way it is explained, or the Pandavas becoming king, the way it is explained, it is different from Bhagavatam. So there are two different perspectives many times applied in the scripture. Why I'm telling you, because you will face these questions in future. Somebody will say that, "नहीं, Mahabharat में तो ऐसा लिखा हुआ है." So you should be aware about this, and that's why I'm explaining. So acharyas give this understanding. So these are two different parallel understandings. One understanding is yes, he was giving a live telecast, and according to that, this is the present tense. What is Dhritarashtra is asked. But then Mahabharata's perspective is that Sanjaya came back, and then Sanjaya was asked by Dhritarashtra, "Kya hua?" And why our acharyas give this particular thing? Because there are so many things which which you will find are going in present. What Sanjay is speaking. Further studies of Bhagavad Gita, if you see, Sanjay, whatever he is speaking, like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur many times, this particular verse which comes about Manmana, don't make that face. I know you're confused, I'll answer. He's like, नहीं, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? Relax. So, this particular verse which is spoken, Man Manabho Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskar. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Krishna actually kept his hand on his chest and saying that worship me. So similarly, there are multiple things where Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is going to talk about the discussion between Krishna and Arjuna, that which is not written in Sanskrit, but then Acharyas they understand the mood, or Acharyas they know what is the conversation. Arjun ke mind mein kya chal raha hai, that's what he's speaking, and that's how we'll find how those two verses are linked to each other. If you theoretically try to understand, if you try to apply our own brain, we will not understand the connection between the chapters or connection between the topics or connection between the verses. But then Acharyas, they understand the perspective, they understand the meaning, they understand the mood, and that's why they are able to connect. And when they connect, we understand it thoroughly. And that's why Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is very thoroughly understood, because through Prabhupada's purport, there is a link always between the verses or the topics. So similarly, here, Acharyas are, don't get confused, don't worry so much. It is with both the understandings are correct. The parallel understanding, the live telecast is also correct, and the past thing is also correct. Okay? Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Difference is not about the event. Difference is not difference. Some difference is about the time relation. Very rare. That's very rare. That's not very often. The perspective is different in the sense, like first departure. Nowhere in Mahabharata you will find that it was the will of Krishna. Bhishma is always propagated as the part of Kauravas. Bhishma was always part of controversy or part of conspiracy. Because if you study Mahabharata, if you study Bhishma's life through the perspective of Bhagavatam, perspective is completely different. Bhagavatam never talks him about diplomatic. Bhagavatam never talks him about the political. He never talks about the part of controversy. Bhagavatam always focus on Bhishma being a part of Krishna's desire. Hmm. Please speak in the mic. Online duties will get confusing, but they will not understand.
माझा क्वेश्चन असा आहे, पर्स्पेक्टिव्ह ऑब्विसली दोघांचे वेगळे असू शकतात, पण जे इव्हेंट्स टाइमच्या अनुसार चाललेत ना, त्यांना कसं कॉम्प्रोमाइज करणार पाहिजे दोन्ही लिटरेचर मध्ये वेगळं वेगळं?
So that's what I'm saying. So this particular teaching is given by Acharyas. Well, Chakravarti Thakur, they talk about this. And they have not given explanation about live telecast, how it is like that. But all our Acharyas talk about live telecast. So we believe that, okay, this is a live telecast also. Now, just to give an explanation, we may say Kalpabhed, alag kalpa. We don't want to get into that. Like for every answer, we cannot say Kalpote. We just accept this because our acharyas have said. There is no much explanation given about this particular, that how, when, where. That is the explanation is not given. But our acharyas have an explanation, so we accept that also. At the same time, I am telling you the history, what happened from Mahabharata. So both the perspective we are accepting. That's what I'm saying. And another important, this is not the topic of Bhagavad Gita. When it happened. The topic of Bhagavad Gita is something else. We are studying Bhagavad Gita. Yes, bro.
When I was hearing to Govind Prabhu long back, that time in one of his lectures, that Mahabharat series, he was telling that Mahabharat specifically deals with Purushartha, four, Dharmartha, Kama and Moksha, whereas Bhagavatam deals with Bhakti.
Right.
And therefore,
Which
whatever
called
is given in,
Panchapurushartha.
yes, whatever is given in Bhagavatam, that is for the consciousness upgrading of Bhakti. So therefore, Mahabharat is for
Mahabharata
less minded people, or
not less minded people. Mahabharata is for, because if you say this in front of Madhvas, they'll shoot you. Because and you are coming in the parampara of Madhvas. Because for Madhvas, Mahabharata is the most important book. So you can't say that it is for less minded people. Mahabharata speaks about, we can always speak like this, that Mahabharata is about for the Varnashrama Dharma, established Varnashrama Dharma, and Bhagavatam is for establishment of Bhakti. Just 1 minute, 1 minute.
Purports.
1 minute. Online devotees, are you getting it? Are you confused? Any question?
Yes, confused.
Oh, clear.
In Ishopanishad purports, some Prabhupada writes somewhere that for Shudras, for women, and for less intelligent peoples, Mahabharata is written.
Yes. You're right.
And what you are saying is against what he is asking.
No, I'm saying we cannot comment like that. It is for less intelligent. If you comment, like Prabhupada quoted somewhere about woman being less intelligent. And when it was quoted by Chaitanya Charanpur, there was a big hue and cry from ISKCON itself. That how can you call us less intelligent? So we cannot publicly speak that. What I'm trying to tell you, he's right. I'm not saying that he's not right. I'm telling you, you cannot speak like that.
मग तुम्ही म्हणले की पास्ट टेन्स मध्ये संस्कृत नुसार आणि मग पदांनी तर प्रेझेंट टेन्स मध्ये लिहिलंय का?
Prabhupada is talking about present tense.
तर मग कधी कधी मग
So
असं-
actually, Prabhupada's translation is about past tense.
हं.
But then purport, if you study, it is all about present because Prabhupada is speaking about Aracharya. See, this particular verse which comes, Janata Aga Viplavo, which talks about that there may be some imperfection in the scripture written by Acharyas. But because Acharyas have spoken it, Krishna has accepted it, and it is ultimate, it is complete, it is right. So we have to accept. Like in Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, there were some Sanskrit scholars who went to Prabhupada himself in Kumbh Mela. And they presented, Swamiji, in your book, we have found out 53 mistakes in Sanskrit translation. There is a mistake in the translation, word to word meaning, there is a mistake in run, and there they are the mistake. But still, Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is most popular, it is accepted, it is authorized, it is correct. Sanskrit is not the prime understanding. That's why we can always study Sanskrit, we can always try to understand. And if you study Sanskrit thoroughly, we will also understand why Prabhupada is giving meaning. In Shabdakosh, one Sanskrit word, Keshava, word Keshava, if you accept, there are 11 meanings of word Keshava. Or, there is this particular Subhashita, which talks about Keshavam Patitam Drishta. Keshavam Patitam Drishta. Just by seeing a Keshava fallen, the Pandavas started roaring. Pandavas started making a joy, and Kauravas were crying. How can that happen? कृष्ण को गिरते वक्त देख के पांडवस हंस रहे, मजाक कर रहे, और कौरवस रो रहे. That is a literally translation of that particular Subhashita. But then, that English translation, the word to word meaning, if you get into, or the word Keshava, try to understand, it is Keshava, Kaurava, and Pandava. There are different meanings of it. Keshava is the dead body, Keshava. By seeing the dead body, Kaurava, by seeing the dead body fallen into water, Kaurava, the crows, started crying because it fell into the water. And the Pandavas, the fishes, they started enjoying because they are going to get it. As a meaning also, that particular Subhashit. But then if you see the translation, it appears that after seeing a Krishna falling, the Kauravas started lamenting and Pandavas started enjoying. As a meaning. So my point is that Sanskrit meaning has different Sanskrit wordings have different meanings. Also, Sanskrit Vyakan, if it is not the very simple thing. Now in this particular verse also, Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. If it is not still studied, that this is a present past tense, people will take it as a present tense or people will take it as a past tense. But then present past tense is a different concept. And because of that different concept, the meanings vary. So the point is that because meanings vary, that does not mean that we have to give that much importance to those. We have to understand the mood. We have to understand the essence behind that particular thing. That's why in proper translation, so many ways there is all spoken out Brahma. The word Brahma comes or Brahman comes, but then Prabhupada talks it as a supreme personality of Godhead. And that's why these people who are Brahmavadis or Mayavadis, they always object that how can you translate a Brahma as supreme personality of Godhead? It is just not possible. It's not completely right. But then Prabhupada writing that as a supreme personality of Godhead because Prabhupada knows the meaning behind it. Prabhupada knows the mood of behind it. And that's why Prabhupada is talking about it. So many times, if you study scrutinizing, you will find that. And we are going to study that way.
तुम्ही इथं प्रेझेंट पास्ट टेन्स म्हणताय कारण आपण आचार्याची कमेंट्री आणि महाभारताची कमेंट्री दोघांना माइंड मध्ये घेऊन सांगतोय.
नाही, कारण संस्कृत मध्ये कसं सांगितलेलं आहे तर इट इज प्रेझेंट पास्ट टेन्स इज अकॉर्डिंग टू संस्कृत व्याकरण. आय एम नायदर टॉकिंग अबाउट आचार्य, नायदर टॉकिंग अबाउट हिस्ट्री ऑफ महाभारत. आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट Taran. What did they do? Yes. Okay. So sufficiently confused. I'm just giving you this knowledge because this question will be asked to you. If somebody has studied Mahabharata, that person will come and challenge you. He will say that tu kaise bol rahe ho live telecast hai? It is both. Okay. I'll also inquire more about this live telecast and come. If you find it somewhere, we can discuss more about it. But then it is both. Okay. So it just happened, and then this is happened. One thing is telling that it is telling us talking to Dhritarashtra. Another is telling that it just happened. Ishmael just fall. Just before that, this particular event happened. It is our acharyas are talking about live telecast. Okay. Our acharyas talk about live telecast. The Mahabharata talks about past tense. Prabhupada has translated it as a present past tense. If you say, what did they do? त्यांनी केलं. Dhritarashtra is asking, what did they do? That's how the translation is. But then, purportedly, the whole mood you see is all about live telecast. Okay. That is not the main topic of Bhagavad Gita. The main topic of Bhagavad Gita is yet study. Okay, let's go ahead. So this particular has 4 questions of Arjuna. They're very important. So we'll pay attention to that. We'll discuss more on it. We are not going to discuss more on the diplomacy of Dhritarashtra. We'll to study the diplomacy also. Not Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana. And we'll also focus on the Bhakta Vatsalta of Krishna. Of Krishna being a devotee. So please, that's going to be part of this session. Okay. So Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samavetayu Mamaka Pandavashaiva Kim Kurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Okay. So here the attachment of Dhritarashtra is spoken by the word Mamak, that he is extremely attached, and those who are extremely attached, it is very, they are always in the fear. Bhaya is always around them. So we have always before also studied that this word is, this place is Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra. That he had fear because of multiple things, because of his attachment. And another thing is that he knew that this particular place is Dharmakshetra, is a place of religion. And wherever there is a place of religion, the victory will be of religious people. He knew very well that my sons are not religious. They have always committed sin. In fact, Dhritarashtra never wanted war. Dhritarashtra was always fearful. If the war happens, he knew that Krishna is on the side of Pandavas. Arjuna, Bhima, they are powerful warriors, and they'll always. And he knew that Arjuna has received so many blessings, so many astra shastras. So Arjuna will be the victorious. Another thing is that he knew that Bhishma, Drona, they are attached to her, and they may take side of Kauravas, or even if they take side, they may not help. So that's why he had this threat. And because of this threat, he is asking this question. What did they do? My sons, Amaka, Pandavasheva, Pandusan. What did they? He is not mentioning Kaurava. Both are actually, if you see, this is a Kaurava dynasty. In the Kaurava dynasty, now they are Kauravas and Pandavas, they are separated for the understanding because son and they are Dhritarashtra's son. So he is asking what happened. Samaveta Yuyutsava, they came for what? They assembled for Yuyutsava, for Yuddha, war. Obviously, they did not assemble for the breakfast, lunch, dinner. So they did not finish. Mamaka Pandavas. Kim Kurata Sanjay. Hey Sanjay, please tell me what did they do? Purport. Bhagavad Gita is widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatma, glorification of Gita. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of a person who is a devotee of Sri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretation. Okay, so personally motivated interpretation should not be there, and that's why there are 700 grids on Bhagavad Gita, 700 to 1000 now, where they are personally motivated. There is some motivation, there is some understanding that this is what I want to speak. This is how I want. Bhagavad Gita self-help book, Bhagavad Gita is management book, Bhagavad Gita is gives the health tips, Bhagavad Gita is about politics, Bhagavad Gita is about this self-motivation. So nothing should be about the self-motivation. It should be studied under the guidance of a devotee of Krishna. And we are fortunate that we have the best devotee of Krishna, that is Srila Prabhupada, is helping us to understand Bhagavad Gita. So we have to study, and then we have to study this book scrutinizingly. If we say, there it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very nicely with the help of son, devotee of Sri Krishna, and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretation. Is important. So Bhagavad Gita should be studied scrutinizingly. That's important part. Further, Prabhupada is talking. The example of a clear understanding is in Bhagavad Gita itself. In the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand the Bhagavad Gita, that line of dissatisfaction without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all the scriptures of the word. Gita Kirtavyam Kim Anya Shastra Vistare. What is the need of other scriptures? If somebody studies Bhagavad Gita in the disciplic succession, we will understand Bhagavad Gita very nicely. And in fact, not only understand Bhagavad Gita very nicely, there is no need of studying. He will surpass all other scriptures and he will get the perfect knowledge. Bhagavad Gita, sorry, one line in Bhagavad Gita, all that is contained in other scriptures. but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is the strict standard of the Gita. It is a perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Okay, so not only uh, you will study the Bhagavad Gita, you will study all other scriptures knowledge also. You will receive the essence of many other scriptures and more than that. That is the glory because it is the personally spoken by Krishna itself. Yes, bro.
In the recent Bhagavatam lecture from 2-3 days ago, I heard that if you are carrying Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya, you're drowning in flood. Then the first book you should drown is Gita. And then again, then also you are drowning, then you have to drown Bhagavatam. And then again you are also drowning, then you should drown yourself, take the CC on your head. So what I'm saying is here the importance to CC is given. CC, Chaitanya Charitamrita.
So our sampradaya, every sampradaya has some particular book where they have given importance, and they'll always focus on that particular thing. If you go to Sri Vaishnava sampradayas, they give importance to Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana. If you Madhvacharya, then they give a lot of importance to Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita, and they don't give so much importance to Bhagavatam. Even Sri Vaishnava don't give so much importance to Bhagavatam. Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya gives importance to Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and obviously Chaitanya Charitamrita because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the personification of Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has lived Bhagavatam. He is the live Bhagavatam. And that's why we give importance to Bhagavatam. So for us, we always speak that Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, both scriptures are very important. Okay. So in this, when it is spoken, that you will receive the knowledge of all. So it is all talking, it is mainly spoken about Vedic scriptures. It is not to be Chaitanya Charitamrita came 500 years before. We are not nowhere speaking about Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bhagavatam came 5,000 years before, around 5,000 years before. Bhagavad Gita just came before that. So Bhagavad Gita is surpassing all other scriptures because many scriptures, like Vedic scriptures, talk about what? They talk about primacy of Krishna. Vedasya sarver aham eva Veda. That Veda ultimately you should know from Vedas, you should know about me. That's what Krishna is speaking. So Vedic scriptures are surpassed here. So all the Ishopnishads, Puranas, Itihasas are surpassed. That's what is spoken. Okay. So you don't compare that with Chaitanya Charitamrita. Or no need to compare that with Bhagavatam. You can always compare that with other scriptures. Yes, so just you going to. Please read. We will read ahead. That is the specific standard of Gita. It is perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme. The topic discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya are described in Mahabharata from the basic principle from this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Mitra, which is sacred place of pilgrimage from the immemorable time of the age. It was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on this planet for the guidance of the mankind. So Dhritarashtra heard this knowledge. This knowledge is sacred. This is very important. And personally, Krishna spoke this particular knowledge. The word Dharmakshetra, we have discussed many times. Prabhupada is talking about is a place where religious rituals are performed. Is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme God was present on the side of Arjuna. The two things are there about Dharmakshetra. First of all, they would perform many religious activities. And second thing is that Lord Krishna personally present. And that's why it is Dharmakshetra. Dhritarashtra, the father of Kuru, was highly doubtful about the possibilities of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjaya, what did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in the field of Kshetra for the determined engagement of the war. Still, his inquiry is significant. He did not want a compromise between a cousin and brothers. He wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield, because the battlefield was arranged to fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in Vedas as a place of worship, even for the denizens of heaven, like the Prayag is Prakrushta Rupena Yaga. It's a place of worship. It's a place of Nya. Similarly, Dharmakshetra Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is also a place of worship. It's a place of Yajna. And that's why this particular place is very important. And that's what Prabhupada mentioned somewhere in Vedas also. This place is mentioned as Dharmakshetra. It's a place of worship. And that's why he's perplexed, he's confused, he's fearful that my sons will anyway not win. And especially this particular place is also helping him. Desha Kalapatra bolte na, the place is also important. Many times in our astrological calculations also, the place is also given a lot of importance. Or Vastastra also, where you live, in which Vastu you live. So according to Vastu Shastra also, there are a lot of reactions happen on you also, because of the imperfection of that Vastu. So the place is important. Similarly, this particular place is very auspicious, and then my sons will not win. And he is very much wanting that my son should win, and that's what he's asking. He knew very well that this would they were sorry. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna, the son of Pandu, favorably, because by nature they all virtuous. Sanjay was the student of Vyasa, and therefore, by the mercy of Vyasa, Sanjay was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. Okay? Present. And so Dhritarashtra asked him about the situation on the battlefield. Both the Pandavas and the son of Dhritarashtra belong to the same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein, and he deliberately claimed only his son Kuru, and he separated the son of Pandavas from the family heritage. One can thus understand the specific position of a Dhritarashtra in his with his nephew, the sons of Pandava, as in the paddy field of unnecessary plants are taken out. So it is expected from the very beginning of this week that in the religious field Kurukshetra, where the father of religion, Sri Krishna, was present, the unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra's sons, Duryodhana, others would be wiped out, and thoroughly religious person headed by Yudhishthir would be established by the Lord. This is the significance of the word Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, apart from their historical and Vedic importance. So there is a historical and importance to this word Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra. But apart from that, another important thing is the father of religion, or the Supreme Person of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is present of Pandavas, and then Pandavas will win because of their being righteous, because of they being dharmic. The Pandavas are also dharmic, this is also dharmic, Krishna is also right, and unfortunately, this Dhritarashtra being blind, being he could not in ignorance, he did not give importance to this particular thing, and he wants his sons to be victorious. And that's how this particular, and because of his blindness, what did he do is he became attached to his sons. He gave importance to his son and their victory, and they removed Pandava's heritage just by saying this with Mahamaka. He's a king. He's the one who is the more important person Kuru dynasty. But he separated Pandava's Shaiva, Pandu's son. He separated Pandu's son there, and because of that, he's going to lose. That particular verse is Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra, meaning is that in this place of Dharmakshetra, the Kauravas are going to lose the battle. Okay? So this particular verse, we have discussed many times. There are many things like Dhritarashtra being blind and how he's blind and all. We're not getting so much into details. Dhritarashtra is partial, he's in ignorance. And even after understanding that there is not going to be victory, he still wants to fight this, or he still wants his sons to be victorious because of his attachment to throne. He was extremely attached to the kursi. Next. Right? Okay, it's 12:30 now. I have two important things to do now. I'll stop here. I wanted to. but second discussion is more on the words. These first 2-3 verses, now the word meaning is also very, very important. We are not going to discuss further. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. I wanted to finish 2 sessions today. Anyways, we will complete next time. So please do carry your handbook, Bhagavad Gita, next time while coming. And okay. Any questions? What? Okay, thank you. No homework today. Relax. We'll meet next Sunday. The Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Next Sunday our class will be online because I am out. Hare Krishna.
Hare
ILS is over. I'm going for Navadip Mandal Parikrama. 28, 28. Daha. Anybody wants to join?
मला आजचं दिवस
Prathamesh, you want to join me for Navadip Mandal?
I really want to join, but Proji, I'll have to check work schedule over here.
Classes पण करत नाही, recording पण ऐकत नाही आपण. Bro, चलो Navadip Mandal.
I just came back, Proji, from Barsana. Again, I'm going to Mayapur next month.